No Jumper, coolest podcast in the world. You're a legendary blunt roller. Like, they were asking me earlier today who my favorite person to smoke with ever on the podcast has been, and I said that I thought Rico Reckless rolled the best blunts. But now I'm looking at those things, I'm thinking you got to be up there for sure.
For sure. Top 5.
Top 5.
And I ain't 2, 3, or 4 or 5.
Because I feel like that's a big thing. If you could throw it at the wall and it doesn't break open, then
you got to roll them tight. But sometimes, like when you're doing backwoods, they be having stems in them, so ain't nothing you can do. Ain't nothing you can do about it. Like, you just gotta be a professional, like you say, find a way around it.
Anybody can roll a really good wood well, but if you have like not the best wood in the pack, it can be a challenge.
Yeah, for sure. They're the one you. Let me tell you what you do with them. Put them motherfucker back in the pack. Then when somebody said, "Hey, you got a wood?" Yeah, for sure, I got you one. Yeah.
That's real though. There's always like 1 or 2 shitty ones in the pack, so you just keep those on deck. But also, how do you feel about like hydrating your blunts? Do you do any sort of like rolling around in water? We will get it wet and then put it between 2 paper towels and sort of roll it out.
I think it depends on how fast you're trying to get high.
That's real.
If you rolling up in the car, you're trying to get high in the car, then you ain't got no sink and no napkin and all that, so you're gonna go and handle your business. But if you at the house, you got a chance to do that, I think you should. Cause it make the, like when you rolling up the blunt, it's gonna have like, you see how little specks, a little backwoods, you'll avoid all that with the water, get all that off of there, then the napkin definitely gets it off of there.
Right.
So now you're not worried about no tobacco falling off of the backwood, and it gives a nice little moisture to the backwood.
Right. Yeah, the moisture is what it's all about for me, because you can really tell when you got a dry ass wood.
Yeah.
It's crazy too, because when you're driving around, it's like, guys will have $1,000 jeans on, but then their fucking whole shit is covered in weed and shit from just rolling up on there.
1,700. But
1,700. What kind of pants?
These the Michael Mary joint.
Okay, that's the new shit.
I used to be a little bit more on them, but I figured out like all this shit look good. I don't care if it's $30 for real.
Because Meek said I could fit like 80 racks in my Amiris.
For sure. You know what it is? No cap. He ain't lying, because they got like
a lot of pockets.
No, they got like a stretchable. You know, some jeans stiff where you can't move. It's hard to even get in your own pocket. And these are like the kind that you can stretch them to put them on, stretch the pockets out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's easy.
There you go. 80 racks though, like, I don't know. In 20s?
In hundreds. In 20s, you ain't gonna be able to do that for sure.
Right.
Can't even get a 30 in there. You can. Nah, I'm tripping. You can use your back pockets. You might be able to go ahead and.
Who was saying that they performed with like Lil Baby the other day and he had $100 grand in his pocket? I'm like, what the fuck does that look like?
I don't know, cap. He keep $100 grand.
100
Before
grand.
he rapping, he tried to do that.
For real? You remember him from when he was a kid?
I wouldn't call him a kid. He always was grown to me.
Right.
I've been knowing him for sure.
That's crazy. A whole new generation of Atlanta rappers just keeps coming up. Do you feel still like connected to that world, or are you not necessarily interested in sort of like that? Because when I think, I think you hit the thing.
Oh, what?
Whoops. Yuri, can you turn the fucking audio thing back on? So this is what happens when you interview a rapper with long ass legs.
Oh yeah, I did. Probably
they tap the button down there. I'm pretty sure the audio didn't cut out though. No, it sounded good. It's just our headphones. My bad. Okay, where were we? What were we talking about? Yeah, the Atlanta. Like you still stay out there a lot? You still feel like connected to that whole world?
Yeah, I'm connected to Atlanta for sure. I ain't never gonna not be connected. You know what I'm saying? I don't believe in, can't believe everything you hear and you see. You know what I'm saying? I live in the real world. And it's a lot of people like the real world, and then it's a lot of people living like a social media or Instagram world. Like even people around me, they'll go based off what they hear or what they see in that world, and I'll be going based off if my little daughter's straight or if he real. You know what I'm saying? I gotta live in the real world. So am I connected? For sure. It's a lot of real people still in Atlanta, for sure.
Why is the new tape called DMV?
DMV, Dope Money Violence.
I figured that.
That's a good question. I like that question. I called it DMV just because I feel like DMV was the first place, just DC, that was the first place I ever went when I came from out of town. They showed me a lot of love, you know what I'm saying? Right. But you know, shit happened, so shit be like different. But I'm just putting the word down like Dope Money Violence. There been a title I've been supposed to drop, and I kind of fell back on it. Like, nah, I ain't gonna drop that. But my fans, that's who run, like that's who gonna always put me down. Like, what you doing, Blow? We need DMV. They keep asking for it, and I'm like, damn, I didn't even know y'all knew about that or wanted that. So they kept asking, kept asking.
But was it like specific songs that were supposed to always be on that project because there's a certain style that for
that's
that project?
what it is. Yeah, that's what it was. It was a certain style of music. And when I say dope money violence, I don't want it to be misconstrued like I'm celebrating people who own dope or get money or that's violent. I'm just letting you know that's what we came up from. That's all we seen. You see what I'm saying? So that's the story that you're finna hear. You know
Well, I always heard like Pablo, early in your career, sort of went to the DMV, spent a lot of time there, got hella tapped in, and sort of like were influenced to a certain degree by some of the flows that were coming out of there, and that was the first place where you kind of really started to blow up. Is that accurate?
For sure, accurate. But me, I'm not big on credit. Like, I'm not the type of person that's gonna say, these people got my flow, or I feel like shit, when somebody sees something they like if I see something I like, the way you dress or whatever, you're supposed to like it, and you're supposed to try to gravitate. Even if you see a girl right now, like, damn, she fine, I like the way she did that. You might want your girl to do a little bit of that, and it don't make you follow it, nothing just mean you smart enough to pick up on game. You see what I'm saying? So DMV is the first place, and it's still a lot of love out there. No cap, like, but it's haters everywhere too. So it just it's situations, it's life. But you right, that I did get a lot. That's my second home still. You know what I'm saying? I came to LA after that. I ain't never been nowhere. Like when I was rapping, before I was rapping, I ain't never been nowhere. County Road, my city. When I started rapping, DC was the first place. Then I started seeing, like, I got love, so I showed love back. Boom. LA was the next place. You know what I'm saying? South met, linked up with this and that. I think I came to see you first time I was in LA. So
long ass time ago.
And I was in the street, so I respect that. I still love it for that first feeling I got from it. You know what I'm saying?
That is crazy to think about. So, but that flow, like in particular, like there's such a huge percentage of music that I get sent by fans and stuff that I'm like, man, I don't know what to call it. If we're gonna call it the Pablo flow, the DMV flow. Nowadays, I feel like a lot of kids are influenced by Splurge, even if Splurge or in a lot of ways was influenced by other rappers. It's like that specific style. How do you feel about that?
I like it. I'm not big on credit. I always knew that because I felt like even people like the Migos, they wasn't getting credit for their style. But I'm not a credit type of person. I want you to go work and show these folks, or tell, you can't just say, oh, I did that, I'm raising my hand, can you please pay attention to me? Hell nah. Go show them folk who started it. You see what I'm saying? Go put them down. Go hard in theirs, and you're going to end up getting your GOAT status. You know what I'm saying? Like, even Young Thug. Yeah. We've been knew Thug. We've been knew how unique he was, how fast he can go in there and make a noise, and we've been knew that, but it's just now coming through where the whole world can recognize, and they recognize people been trying to see you and go home and, all right, let me do a little bit more like you without even saying it. They're going to do it.
But it's kind of like there's the popular rappers, and then there's the rappers who are actually like pushing things flow-wise, and a lot of times it's largely just the other rappers who are really noticing, but then there's really conversations going around when something like when Valet comes out and he's got a flow that automatically like is so influential that people start kind of jumping on that flow and shit.
I knew Valet way before anybody knew him. Like he was around early.
Right.
And I ain't gonna lie, like I knew his flow was that hard or people were gonna eat it up.
Right.
Because when you actually doing it and when you first start, I don't know I'm a GOAT. I don't know everybody finna eat it up. I'm just rapping. You know what I'm saying?
But you've always been like moving and like always, that's one thing I appreciate about your shit is I feel like you always were very flexible in terms of the style. Because I was actually, before I interviewed Skipper, I went and watched a bunch of old shit and I'm like, man, I forgot about Pablo back in the day. Oh, that was good, right?
What? Yeah, crazy. But I was around all that. I was around that shit, so it's just funny. Like, I feel like everybody goddamn. I'm a silent person, bro. I ain't on that big on just talking about shit or trying to, you know what I'm saying? But I will. But when it comes to your family, then it's a little different. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Just putting the real business out there, like shit. I talk about it though, if it's already out there. But it's like trying to create a subject, like that shit don't even need to be the topic. Like I said earlier, if you the GOAT and you working for that, or if you really supposed to be there, then your work is gonna show eventually.
That's true. Yeah, I definitely feel that in the sense that like, it's just.
And you gotta go through hardship. That's life. You want everything to be easy, you just street punk. You just gotta go through hard shit. It's just life.
Right. So, but let me ask you this: when you call the project DMV, is that a little bit of a taunt towards the fact that you might have issues with people from that area? Is that kind of because you're taking the name of their city and naming your project after, or not their city, but their area?
The area.
Is that you fucking with people a little bit?
Nigga, DC, Maryland, and Virginia love Pablo. They fuck with me, so it's not a taunt. It's more of a, I'm putting you down. Like, even when people ask me, when I used to have interviews back in the day, you know, people to this day really think I'm still from DC. Cause I be like, no, I'm really from DC. You know what I'm saying? So I kick that that just was me. And like you said, I did get into it with people, but you can ask people like YG, Addy, ASAP, Anthem, DMV, my mind, the way it think, it was been created. So when it came back around, it was more of it was just time for it because it is this right here going on. They do, all right, well, let's drop DMV. You know what I'm saying? And most of this shit real street, and some of this shit just internet. I'm just tell you that. Like, I go to DC all the time. I'm finna go up there in a minute, have a like a meet and greet and listening party. You know what I'm saying? Release party.
That's what's up. Yeah, man. When we think about that first interview we did, there's a couple of things I remember. Number one, is it just me or were you on a lot more drugs back then?
Yeah, why I look calm. Yeah.
You look a lot healthier now.
Yeah, the first thing it was with the lean, but to be real, like, shout out to my brother Dex, you know what I'm saying? But like I said, I learned from a lot of other people, you know what I'm saying? Like that lean lip shit, that shit real. It's come from you not drinking water and you drinking all shit that's drying you out. You're not liquid, you're not putting it back in, you're just drying. So
if you're drinking lean, you have to drink so much water to compensate for all that sugar and the codeine and everything that you're taking.
Nowadays, I don't eat candy or drink. I don't even drink soda. So now that thinking about you drinking lean, like, well, you drinking too much of that shit right on your ass.
Right. So you fell back on that, what, for like just health reasons, or you just didn't feel good anymore?
I care about myself. When I get to looking at all my pictures and my shit fucked up, and I just look like I'm high on lean, I be like, all right, just fall back, bro. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gotta, it ain't that serious. And then I cuss everybody out on that lean. Like, man, fuck you. What's up?
The next day you wake up angry as fuck?
No, the next day I wake up apologizing.
Oh, really?
I cuss you out, boy. You a trip. I'm like, you. It's like it give you in a certain, it control you a little bit on the emotional side. Now, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and all the pills and shit too. Once you start fucking with that.
That might have been what it is. Mixing the pills with the lean is going up. Like,
were you ever the kind of guy who felt like you needed to do drugs to be able to be creative in the studio though? Because a lot of people start to get on that mentality.
Yes. Always, and I still do a little bit. You know what I'm saying? When you say drugs, I don't always consider everything. Like, sometimes it's just weed. But most of the time, I think you fall in love with the fact that, shit, if I pop the perk or the ed pill, my mind, whatever I'm thinking right now, even if you goddamn this guy right here with the thuggish shirt on, thuggish ruggish,
he's a bitch.
He pop a pill, don't you know he gonna turn into a whole different, like, so.
I don't want to see him like that. That'd be scary.
Well,
bro.
He might get to trying to think he can do you on the podcast and become a podcast. But now that they want you to have a podcast, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna go back to normal you, or are you gonna pop a pill and give us the podcast we want? You see what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, for sure. Because I feel like you go through your whole day. You're like going to the bank. You're like making lunch. You know, you're just doing all this normal shit. And it's like you're in a certain state of mind. And a lot of people then they get in the studio and they're all of a sudden supposed to switch up their mind state 100% and go from normal ass dude going to the grocery store to not that you go to the grocery store. I'm assuming you probably got somebody to do that for you. But
yeah, I got in there the other day. I actually be having fun. I be, you know what I'm saying? When you get to finally get to seeing everything you want. Oh, I want some goddamn cinnamon powdered donuts and all this shit right here.
It's gotta be.
Do you eat cinnamon powdered donut?
No, I'm on a health kick.
Sorry. Plain donuts.
Nah, no donuts.
But I don't know. I'm weird, but I don't know why. But I like all plain shit. Plain chip, plain Ritz, plain cookies. I don't really like sugar and shit. I don't like the extra shit.
Well, we have that in common then because when I grew up eating cereal and shit, I was always on Cheerios, Rice Krispies, Rice Chex. I never did like the Fruit Loops or the Cookie Crisp and all that crazy shit.
But on occasion, you'll go Fruity Pebble.
I was more like, if I want that crazy sugar shit, I'm gonna do ice cream or some shit. I'm not gonna do that with the cereal.
Yeah, you're right.
I always like a nice plain breakfast.
You know what's so crazy? I used to like, damn, what's the cereal that's like whole grain? I know it's weird, bro. Damn near Wheaties, like shit like that. Wheaties, And you be good.
There's a lot of those when you go like Trader Joe's or some shit. They got all kinds of natural cereals because they're like real
Raisin Bran
crunchy.
Cool, but I ain't with that raisin shit. So if it didn't have a raisin, I'd fuck with that.
You can't get down with a raisin. Can you get down with grapes?
That'd be hard.
But I'm saying it's just. I think you hit it again. Yuri. Oh, damn, he did it himself. That's lit. But yeah, but like I
got you a DMV hoodie too. It's a large.
Oh, for real?
I don't know if you can fit it, but you gotta get like me one time and just
I'll fuck
snuggle
with
in
it.
there.
Yeah, I like that because then they can see the belt and all that. No, I got some good Pablo merch. I got the designer Dope Boys shirt at the crib
Matter of fact,
still.
I need to let me see the other one. That
Oh, shit, here we go.
I'm saying promo.
Oh yeah, you always been on the merch heavy.
Yeah, and I don't do it enough. I just do it just enough to make sure the fans just got, you know what I'm saying? The people who want it can get it. But everybody don't want it.
You feel like you could potentially have a future as some sort of designer? Could you be like a Virgil?
I think I'm a Virgil. I think I'm Ice Cube. I think I'm goddamn. I might start making beats, bro.
Really? You never tried before?
Yeah, I mean, I ain't never actually tried it, but I be watching a lot of producers, so I feel like knowledge is power, bro. If I learn it, ain't nothing you can do to stop me then, you know what I'm saying?
Right.